Welcome back to the Dirty Shop. Today we are making hard cider. I used to do this all the time, but when I moved last, I kind of put all my stuff away and didn't mess with it. But it's a couple weeks till Thanksgiving. My wife said, make some hard cider. So we were at the store the other day and I got myself a jug of apple juice and I'm going to make some hard cider. Hopefully be done in a couple weeks for Thanksgiving. My brother taught me how to do this. It's a ferment in the bottle technique. It's nice and sterile. It's pasteurized in the bottle, so you don't have anything foreign in there. There's no need to take this out and pour it into another container to ferment when you can do it right in the bottle. So I've got everything I need right here to make this hard cider. I've got a glass to pour off some of the juice into because I'm not gonna be able to use all the juice. I'm gonna have to take a little bit out of the jug. I've got some Cephale S04 dry ale yeast. There's a lot of different kinds of yeasts you can use, and the yeast will potentially change your flavor profile. So you can change it around a little, get different flavors. You can use beer yeast and get a little more beery of a flavor depending on what you want to do. I picked this one up at Ben Como's Homebrew Supply here in Fresno. He's a great guy down there, lots of knowledge. He's got a great store, and it's really nice to support your local businesses. So I've been buying all of my homebrewing stuff from him for years, and I have never had an issue. He's always been very generous. His prices were good. So make sure to support your local businesses. And he, happily enough, is backed up to Tioga Sequoia Brewing. Literally, his back door opens into the brewery. He's renting a room from him or whatever it is. So while you're down there, you can stop by the tap room and support another local business and get some of their wonderful beers. Very good. I've got about a cup of organic cane sugar here. I like about a cup per gallon. I've got a little less than a cup here, but it's all I've got, so it's what I'm going to use for now. I like organic cane sugar or white sugar because it doesn't add any extra flavors to the ferment. If you're going for something else, you can change flavors in a lot of ways, and your kind of sugar is one of them. My brother uses the concentrated juice mixes a lot, and I've done that as well, and that will change your flavor by quite a bit depending on what you do. But I'm going to use this organic cane sugar this time. The other thing you're going to need is an air trap of some sort. So this one's I've got a little rubber bung here that plugs into the top of the bottle, and basically the escaping CO2 gas can get out of here, but bad air can't come back in. And there's a couple different varieties. They work equally as well. It doesn't really matter which one you have. It just has to fit your bottle. And I also picked that up at the Homebrew Supply. And that's it. That's all I need to make hard cider. Here we go.
This video may contain scenes of extreme untidiness. Viewer discretion is advised.
Now we're going to make our hard cider. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure everything is clean as I can. I've cleaned all this very nicely, and the way that this works, you can keep the whole system very clean because, of course, this is pasteurized usually in the bottle, so we know that it's sterile and clean juice, no foreign yeast or anything in there, or at least very, very minimal amounts. So that is nicely clean, and that's one of the nice reasons, or one of the really good reasons to ferment in the bottle. I've got my glass jar here, and I'm going to pour off about a cup and a half or 2 cups of this because I'm going to add back in a cup of sugar. So I'm going to bring that up a little bit, and then I need room for this to bubble and foam because it's going to bubble and foam up quite a bit, and I don't want it to overflow my trap. Otherwise, it'll make your trap all nasty and kind of, it'll make a mess. So I've got my jug here, and I'm ready to go. I'm going to open it up and pour off a couple of cups of juice. That looks pretty good. All right, now I can enjoy this. That's pretty good. Now, I'm going to get my sugar in here. I suppose I should have a funnel. A funnel would be nice. Just going to use this nice clean sheet of paper to funnel my sugar into my bottle. Improvise. There we go. There we are. Now I need to add my yeast. Come on. we go. I'm going to put the lid back on the bottle. Make sure it's sealed, and then I'm going to shake this up really good. I want to stir that yeast and sugar around really well. There we are. I'm going to pull my lid back off and put my... Oh, I picked the wrong one. I've got a smaller plug here. I'll wash my plug. Good thing I have different sizes. I'm going to put my bung in there. I'm going to put my air trap on. Make sure they're nicely seated. And I'm done. A couple weeks I'll have some hard cider. Sweet, huh? And we'll take some pictures of that as it ferments along so we can kind of see what it's doing. You'll see how it bubbles up. Okay, now we're back from outer space. Just turn around now. You're not welcome in this place. And I'm gonna finish my cider. So, not a singing career in my future, but it's been about a week and a half or so since I put this in the fermenter. It's pretty much stopped bubbling, so I know that it's done most of the fermenting that it's gonna do. And I'm leaving tonight or tomorrow to go up to my family's Thanksgiving, and I want this ready to go. So I've got a couple of containers here, and I'm not gonna obviously keep it in the jugs. I just need to get it out of this jug so I can clean this yeast off, clean this jug out, and then I'm gonna put it back in here to serve it. So if you look at this, you can see there's yeast up around this top portion, and then if you look at the bottom of this, you see that layer of yeast in the bottom. And if I was to tap out of this jug right now, then I would just end up with a lot of yeast in my cider, and I don't really want that. A little bit's fine. It doesn't hurt the flavor at all, but it's not desirable. So I'm going to pour some of this out into these containers, which I've cleaned up really nicely. And then I'm going to clean this jug out, and then I'll put it all back in here, and we'll put the tap on it. So, I'm going to be really gentle when I pour this out because I want to keep from stirring up that yeast that's all on the bottom. I'm hoping most of it will fit in here. Most of it. I'm going to pour some in this other jug I've got. Oh, smells real good. Okay, now I've left a little bit of cider in there, and I'm going to shake this around and get that yeast all stirred up now. And I've got this is an old kombucha bottle, and the nice thing about kombucha bottles is they're made to handle a lot of pressure. So once you drunk the kombucha out of it, you can put something back in there and not worry about too much about the pressure in the bottle. I'm going to clean this out really good. Shake it out, and then I'm going to pour this leftover yeast off into this jug so I can save it and make another batch with it at a later date. Yummy. And you can do this several times. You can reuse this yeast numerous times, but eventually it does get less potent or less desirable, and you'll want to go back to it. So like this one here, I could split it off, and I'll just pour a little bit into the next batch of cider, because obviously I only had that much yeast the first time. But I could pour a little bit of this off in the next batch, and a little bit off in the next one, and a little off in the next one. And each time I split it, I can get like 3 more generations of cider off of it. So now I'm going to rinse this jug out, and we're going to put all this cider back into it. Okay, there we go. Put our cider back. Got to test it. Because this is pretty good even without carbonation. Smells good. Ooh, it's good. It's a little bit tart, but it's got that body of that unfiltered cider going on, and it's really good. It doesn't need any more sweetness for me. I really don't like a very sweet cider. This has got just enough residual sweetness. I don't have to do anything to it. This is about perfect. Oh yeah, that's good. There we go. All right. Oh, where'd my lid go? I don't know what I did with my original lid. Not that I really need it, but well, for now, stick that back on there for a moment. Now, don't waste any of that. Okay, so here's the next step. I have built this device here. Get some of this junk out of the way. A few years back, I built this tap, and it's been sitting out, so one of my O-rings is bad, but it's not the O-ring I'm going to use, so it doesn't matter. And this tap's got a big rubber seal here. This portion goes down into the bottom of the jug, and then the CO2 pressure comes into this side, and then the drink is dispensed out of here, and I can see how much pressure I'm running inside with that. So this goes into the jug, and to hold that down, figure out how to get this out of here. I've got a CO2 regulator here that goes on my CO2 bottle, and then this is my strap system for my jug. So in order to make this work, I haven't used this in a while. So let's see here. So the strap goes, it's got a slot in it right here. Wait, is that the right one? Yeah. So it's got that slot in it, and that will go over this. I'm going to go over and wash this really good. Okay, now I've got this cleaned off, and the way this works is I'm going to put this on my jug right there. It fits almost any growler. I mean, it'll fit this big growler here because I made it big enough for that, or it'll fit the smaller one. And it'll even fit the really tiny ones. So, because it's got that big rubber seal right on the top. So that goes on there. This is the handle strap, and it's a carrier as well. It's got a hole right here in the middle of the strap that goes over the top right there. And there's two flats on the side here that are notched so that it stays straight. And then this goes down. It's been a while since I used it. Under the jug. That. This is not the best setup. I think I could probably make a better strap system for this. One with a better, I'd like better draws here, like ones that latch down to really make it tight. But that goes there. And then I could pull up on these handle sides a little bit to get it tight. There. And then this is a Velcro strap that goes around and straps the sides on so they don't wander off. That. And then like that. Okay, now I've got this sealed up. I had to go make a new O-ring, new seal. These are supposed to have a little plastic disc seal in them, and it was missing, so I had something out there. I kind of chopped and made my own. So hopefully it'll hold up. And you can see I've got zero pressure in right now. I've got my regulators off, but this is on. So this will open up and increase the pressure. Just want to give it a little bit. And this jug is not made to hold high pressure, so I don't want to get over about 5 pounds in here, I don't think. looks like I've got a little bit of leakage around here, around the outside of my thing. So, but just so you can see how this works, and I'll have to I have to crank this down a little better, but you can see now that it's under pressure, this should feed. Nope, a little more. Let's see how it goes here. On. What am I missing? There's pressure in there. This is not. Maybe I'm plugged up somewhere. Well, you know those moments that you just wish you had on video because they were so dumb? Well, I took this apart to see if it was plugged. And then I got all this to fix, and I forgot to put this top back on. So when I popped this on here under pressure, it just squirted cider across the room. So, as usual, I made a huge mess, and I've got cider all over me. But I believe it's working now. Obviously no longer plugged. Stupid. I took, to make this a little tighter, I was having trouble. Like I said, these don't draw down as tight as I wanted them to. So I actually put a hose clamp on here and just drew this down nice and tight. And it seems to be holding pressure really nicely now. And I'm going to bring my pressure back up, because I just zeroed it out by squirting stuff across the room. So there it is at about 5 psi. And you can see here that it works. So there you go. Hard cider, mostly using just one container. Obviously a few transfer containers would be handy, but oh yeah, it's good stuff. So thank you for watching. Till the next time, please subscribe and maybe check out one of my other videos. Thanks for watching The Dirty Shop.